What's going on, YouTube? Thanks for tuning in. Well, I'm going to do a little comparison between the dji Tello and the ThiEye Dr.X supposed Tello killer. Alright? There's a few Tello killers on the market, but this has a legitimate shot. Alright? So, I'm going to do a comparison. I'm going to go over the specs. Then I'm going to do some pros and cons of both. And then I'm going to tell you guys what I really think, which one you should buy, and which one overall is a better product. All right? All right, so let's start with the Tello. Man, I love this thing. This is one of my favorite birds in my whole collection right now. All right? Anytime I'm bored, I just pick up the Tello and go for a flight. All right? So if you're wondering what this thing is, this is my USB mod. Yeah, I hooked up my lights to it. I did a light mod a while back, so I decided to use the battery from the Tello to power these lights. So you guys might want to check that video out. So now let's talk about the Tello itself. 13-minute flight time, which is awesome for such a small bird. 720p video, 5 megapixel pictures. It's a video transmission from the craft to the phone, right? So it doesn't have a micro SD card or anything like that. It's about 40 meters and it starts getting choppy. Optical flow, altitude hold, all right? Image stabilization. This thing sits rock solid and the image is really smooth, man. Lots of intelligent flight modes, lots of them. You'll never get bored with this thing. Does flips in all kinds of directions, all right? And it's crazy fast too, all right? And the sticks on this thing, the virtual sticks, are awesome. A lot of people don't want to fly, you know, with, you know, their phone and stuff, but trust me, guys, if you guys fly this thing, you'll learn in a couple minutes. You'll be like, wow. So super easy to fly. So man, love the Tello. All right, so let's take a look at this Dr.X thing, the alleged Tello killer. I mean, if you're gonna be a Tello killer, that's the name to have, Dr.X. All right, so let's go over some of these features. So it has an 8-minute flight time, and one of the biggest features of this drone is the 1080p video, 30 frames per second. All right, that is awesome, I gotta admit. And it takes 8 megapixel pictures. All right, and it comes with a micro SD card slot. All right, so you know what I mean, you can record on the micro SD and on the phone. So that is one awesome feature. All right, so optical flow, altitude hold, image stabilization. This thing is super steady, man. It is super steady. Even in a little bit of wind, it fights it and it tries hard to stay still, and the image is really smooth and very nice video and pictures out of this thing. It has some flight modes, which is cool. It also has some low battery protection thing. So if the battery is really low, extremely low, it'll just automatically descend. So hopefully you're not above a tree or above a building or anything, or else you're in some major trouble. Anyways, the Dr.X, man, it's holding its own. Okay, so let's talk about some of the pros and cons of both of these birds. Let's start with the Tello. The Tello, man, is super fun. I fly it all the time. It's great. The camera is really good, very sharp, but only at close distances. You know what I mean? A lot of nice flight modes. The flips are awesome. The flight time, I mean, 13 minutes, that's pretty cool. There's no micro SD on this thing. So, you know, that's a big issue for me. But in terms of fun, this is really fun. You can't beat this thing for fun. All right, so let's go over some of the pros and cons with this bird. Big pro, 1080p, 30 frames per second, 8 megapixel camera. Only goes 50 meters away. I mean, that's not that great, but it has a micro SD card. You know what I mean? That's a big plus. The Tello doesn't, you know? This thing flies great, but the controls aren't as precise as the Tello, right? Flight time, you only have, I forgot what it is. You got like 8 minutes flight time on this thing. The Tello has 13, you know? So, you know, there's pros and cons to both of these things. But the big one for me, and I'm a camera guy, I like video, the fact that it has a micro SD, you know, that's huge. But I also like fun. You know, the Tello is way more fun. You can do flips, you know, the flight time is longer. The intelligent flight modes, I mean, it has all kinds of weird kind of stuff you can do with it. This is way more fun. This is a better camera. So, I mean, you decide. I like them both. That's why I got them both. It is what it is. But they're both awesome. Love them both. Fly them both. And yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching.